Hello, everybody. Sorry I'm super late. I know that this is supposed to start like 6 minutes ago, I would say. But to be frank with you, I should have checked my time properly. But anyway, um, today we're doing Walmart GameStop story times. And yes, like the title says, I have a couple of videos that we're gonna view here today on live. So I'm just hoping things go well. So I'm just hoping that none of those issues arise during the stream because um see I do give credit to most of the people that here are the credits. So yeah, so there are the credits there. You can check them out if you want to. But um, but today we're gonna go ahead and check out some story times with these people. So anyway, we're gonna begin with the first one, which is the Tale of Terror. So here we go. The link is right up here, and we're gonna play this video. So we'll get to it right now. Let me see if I copy the. Oh, um, okay. I think I should have that here. I'm hoping no ads go up on this. So
What's up guys, RGT85 here, and this is going to be kind of a special video. A lot of you guys probably don't know this, but I was actually a GameStop employee at one time. I was an acting assistant manager, and I was there for about 10 months. So from middle of 2005 to the middle of 2006, I was one of the guys there at GameStop that you would see coming in to get your games. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of talk about my experiences working there, what I saw, and maybe how things have changed. You know, obviously things are different from 10 years ago. So this is more of a history lesson and kind of just my personal story about working there. If you currently work there, let me know in the comments below. Let me know if any of these things have changed. But yeah, without any further ado, I'm just gonna get into my story. So I was working as a pharmacy technician. I was 20 years old, and I didn't dislike it, but I didn't really like it. And GameStop was coming to town. We didn't have a GameStop. The local The nearest video game store was about 40 miles away. We would always have to drive to a town called Fayetteville to go to video game stores. So when a local GameStop was coming here, I was very excited. It was right near my apartment, and I really wanted to work there because I've always been passionate about video games. So I remember driving by a million times, waiting for them to put up a sign about applications, and when they finally put up a thing that you could, turn in applications, I of course was like the first one. And they called me 2 days later, and I met them at the store. I met the district manager at the time. His name was Steve, and Steve kind of just talked to me about the store, talked to me about stuff, and then he wanted me to sell him a game. They had already started setting up stuff. I was being brought in as a cashier. And so I remember trying to sell him a game that was kind of obscure. I want to say it was like Katamari Damacy or something like that. And he had no clue what I was talking about. So me being the type of person I am, I kind of asked him about his gaming background, and he really didn't have one. He knew about Halo, and that was the only thing he could tell me about. So I had to sell him a copy of Halo. And that kind of bothered me, honestly, because I understand that, upper management is a position that's more on the business end, but I also feel that you should have a strong hold of what you're doing in your business. If you're in the pizza business, you should know about pizza and pizza trends. If you're in the video game business, same thing. So that always kind of bothered me about him. He was very, white bread, very boring, just kind of a guy that I wouldn't like to talk to, but of course I had to because I'm trying to get a job here.
Now, when it comes to selling games, you know, I typically like to think, you know, I don't generally, if I was an employee at this store, I wouldn't want to lie to them. But GameStop has this. I know lots of people like in the category of GameStop stories and GameStop rants kind of kind of delve into this where GameStop tries to sell you stuff, Game Informer, the Power Up Rewards card, stuff like that. It's been a big emphasis at GameStop ever since it started. And I'm gonna be completely honest. Uh, you know, lying to customers, and I do feel bad for the employees that work there, and plus the former employees that used to work there that had to deal with this type of crap. And the thing is like GameStop kind of tries to want you to sell this many pre-ordered, this many games like in whatever time frame. And I know I'm not like a GameStop employee and I don't work in retail, but I'm gonna be I speak for like the former employees and the employees that still work there now, but you know lying to a customer about certain things, is out of the line. And GameStop does have this problem where it starts to become this this thing where the employees have to push this because the district manager said so, or someone from upper management, corporate even, has to get involved because they want to make their numbers look good. And that's what I don't like about GameStop and most other like retail stores. They just have a big emphasis on this thing. But that is mostly GameStop big time, where it just starts to become this thing where I where it just becomes like this thing where you might as well say, oh, I don't want to shop at this anymore because the person that is trying to be on the counter, that's trying to get the that just trying to get me to get this thing is bugging me about this. So that just it just is a bad president. It just is a bad big business practice that you know GameStop has done for years, and I guess that's basically all corporations and all service related products, but that is like mostly retail if you think about it, and yeah, that's just my opinion. I just paused the video to kind of give my opinion there, but we're gonna still continue with this. RGT 85 is a pretty good channel here. So yeah.
So I did a good job selling in the game, and they ended up giving me the job. And I started as a cashier, like I said, making pretty much minimum wage at the time. I was making less than I did at the pharmacy, but I didn't care because I was surrounded by video games, and that was what I was doing. And the first few weeks were pretty fun. You're just kind of training, you're learning everything, you're learning what you can and can't do. I had a really cool manager at the time. He was a super swell guy, terrible manager, but he was a good dude. So I became friends with him, and we would have fun. We would have after hours tournaments at the store with a bunch of our friends, playing Smash or Halo 2 or setting up different Xboxes on all the TVs we had. And it was really, really fun. It was fun meeting with representatives coming in the store, like the Nintendo rep. I was always amazed when she came in, and she would always give me like a little free goodie. And it was fun. I was working a lot of day shifts, so I was alone most of the time, but there were night shifts that I was working as well. And like I said, it was a fun time for the first probably 2 or 3 months. I really enjoyed it. And then we still didn't have an assistant manager at the time. We were a brand new store. We had been open for 3 months. We didn't have an assistant manager. So essentially they made me acting assistant manager because the district manager, Steve, did not want to put me in the assistant manager position. I don't really know why. I guess because I was kind of doing the assistant manager job. I was opening, I was a key closer, I was making schedules and whatnot. And they never wanted to give me that pay raise. And that always kind of bothered me, but I didn't care. I was young, I was naive at the time. And, it did weigh on me, but I always thought, my chance will come, don't worry about it. So one of the big things that I hated about that place was pre-order stuff. You had to push pre-orders, and you had to push these stupid reward cards. It wasn't the power-up rewards cards. It was named something different, but there was such a strong emphasis on that. And the warranty information, you can break this game and, pay $3 and you can get another copy and stuff. And that always, I don't know, it always felt kind of scummy. Like, because the thing of it is, if you didn't get enough pre-orders in a day, if you didn't get enough people signed up for a rewards card, like, you would get in trouble. You could potentially get written up, you could potentially lose your job because they felt that every customer should be getting these things. And I never necessarily understood why, because not a lot of customers are Neanderthals. We're not taking our games and throwing them up in the air and breaking them. So why was this such a strong emphasis? It's pretty much because of the business side of things. There was money to be made that was easy money. It's just like the whole new versus pre-owned game. Every time you scanned a new game in the system would tell you if you had a pre-owned copy so that you could push that pre-owned copy because they probably paid, half of what they paid for the new copy, and it would give them more profit. Some people didn't want that, some people did want that, that was fine, but they really made you push for that. And I never really cared for that. Another thing I didn't like was the fact that I was pretty much putting in 60-hour to 65-hour work weeks, and
cherish every 2 minutes of the NFL.
Hold on. I'm gonna go ahead
and really I was only getting like 5 hours of overtime. I mean, there would be times where I would come in at 9 in the morning and leave at midnight, because part of that was because I was naive and stupid, and I was agreeing to do that just because I loved video games and I wanted the store to succeed. And part of it was because my manager at the time was not a really good manager. He was a good friend, but he wasn't a good manager. So he kind of took advantage of me. That was fine. I actually spoke up about it and I never heard anything. So, a lot of lost wages there, but it is what it is. The problems really started for me in January of 2006, which is when I started doing conference calls and whatnot. And so I would be on the conference calls with all the other managers in the district and the district manager. And I remember in January 2006, the big game that was coming out that month was 25 to Life on the PS2 and Xbox. And that was what they wanted us to get pre-orders on. It was something like they wanted us
The pre-orders are such a big emphasis on stuff like that. It really is. Yeah, and you know, yeah, but like I said, you know, pre-orders are always something that, they're really cool. Don't get me wrong, but when they're trying to when an employee from from GameStop and when the district manager or higher management tries to tell the employees push push a pre-order or push the stupid magazine that nobody cares for, it's seriously very it's annoying. And I guess this is like every retail store out there, but I'm gonna say again, probably it's GameStop big time. Like it's probably every single damn corporation out there that sells products. Like, that they try to sell you something and they bother you about it constantly. They really do. And I guess that's all companies like with Walmart, Target, all of these other retail places, but I think that's mostly GameStop big time because that's what they try to emphasize on, and that's what they try to give their things. That's what they try to look good for. Their numbers have to look good for that, and like you said, it always bothered them, and as I don't really shop there anymore, and I don't really go there anymore. But as someone who used to shop at GameStop, you know, I never got pestered or anything for pre-orders and stuff like that, or my parents did. But I feel bad for people who already got that treatment, and it's not a good feeling, man. It really isn't. And and like I said, it's basically every retail store out there. But then again, then again, they're a business, but still, that's a bad business practice. That really is. And I know I'm not into the realm of business or anything, but to be honest with you, that's what it is. It's something that I think is frowned that I think is frowned upon.
To get 10 to 15 pre-orders a day. And I've always been a hardhead, and looking at that game, I could tell it was going to be garbage. And I spoke up, and when they asked me how many pre-orders I had, I said I had one. And they said, how many am I going to have at the end of the day? I said, probably one. And they were like, well, why? I was like, because the game looks terrible. And they're like, well, how do you know that? You don't know that. And I was like, well, Steve, you don't really know video games, so you don't know that it's going to be good. As someone who is pretty in tune with what's going on, I could tell that this is going to be a very mediocre game, and it's not going to be a fun experience. And he said, well, what difference does it make if someone wants to pre-order it? And I said, well, there's the whole thing that these people come to me as an expert in the video game industry for, a lot of, not necessarily the smart consumers, but the average consumers, the moms, the dads, the little kids. They look at you like an expert. And if you recommend a game that sucks, you're going to lose value in their eyes. They're not going to listen to you. So in the long run, it's better to be more open and honest with people. And of course I got shut off, and, they just made me try to get pre-orders for 25 to life. I think I ended up getting 4 or something. I did get a reprimand. I did get a write-up. It's pretty silly, but whatever. That was the first time I was really angry, because I didn't like deceiving people that I saw as people who trusted me. And of course, at this time, the Xbox 360 was really popular. So you had people coming in, bringing in their collections of PS2, GameCube, Xbox games, and getting pennies. And you always had, upset parents. Well, why, you sell this game for $20. Why are you giving my son $4 for it? And it was always hard to explain that. I mean, obviously it's simple business. If you don't want the $4, you don't have to accept the $4. But it always kind of sucked to have to, explain that to people. And, a lot of people just didn't understand it, especially when you're in an area where GameStop is brand new. So people are expecting to get, retail prices for their games, their Madden 05, they wanted, $30 for it. Why can't I get $30 for it? But that experience always kind of, that always sucked. And I remember towards the end of my run, I came into work one day, and someone who was helping us when the store first was from a different district, he was helping us when the store was first getting set up, was actually in the store. And I said, oh, where's, my normal manager's name was Billy. I said, where's Billy? Oh, he got fired. What? Yeah, Billy got fired. And so he took me in the back and we talked about it. When the store first opened, we did a $200 gift card giveaway as like a midnight launch event because we had a midnight opening. And Billy never gave that card to anyone. He actually used it for himself, and they found out about it, and he got terminated. So I was kind of upset about that, but I did really like this other guy from the other district because he actually lived close to me. He would just commute to Fayetteville because he liked the area. And, he was a good dude. So I thought, okay, this is the time when I'm going to become assistant manager. This is my time to shine. And so the district manager called me and he said, do you want to be an assistant manager? And I said, yes. And he said, do you want to be a general manager? I said, today, no. And he said, well, why not? And I said, because I'm 21 years old. I'm not really, I'm not really well versed in retail. I've only been doing this, I was a pharmacy tech for a long time. I haven't been doing this that long. I would like to, be an assistant manager for a while and, learn more of the, get the actual title, learn everything I can, and then become a general manager. And GameStop didn't like that. GameStop at that time, didn't like people being general managers for like more than 6 months. They wanted you to get your own store, which never made sense to me because there's not enough stores to make everyone who's an assistant manager a general manager, especially when you have general managers already.
My name is Dr. Will Mundo. As a first-generation student...
Okay.
Always kind of, pissed me off. And then I remember hearing rumors that they were going to bring in a different general manager and have a new assistant manager in the store, and that my position was going to go back to cashier. And that really stung. But I thought I could impress people. I thought I can, do what I had to do to get that job. And then came doomsday, is what I like to call it. So I had a regular customer who would come in and trade me in games. And there would always be loose discs. I always assumed like he just robbed a friend or something. And he always wanted cash. He never wanted store credit. I never saw the kid buy a game. And I would mention it to people. And at the time, the trade-in policy was very, very lax. Like literally, you didn't have to do anything. I think all you had to do was sign a piece of paper. You didn't have to give a government. You didn't have to do anything like that. So I brought it up to my manager. I said, look, this dude comes in a lot, man. I think he's just ganking games from people. And he was like, well, there's nothing we can really do about it. Just give him his money and be on the way. So he came in one day and he actually asked me about something. He asked if I had something in the back. I think it was a system, a used 360 or something. Went back there, came out, didn't have anything. He was like, all right, well, I'll come check you later. I was the only one working in the store at the time. It was morning. And he came back later that day with a stack of games. And I traded him in, gave him his cash, went on his way. I think my shift ended at like 4:30 that day. And I got a phone call from my manager at about 5:30. And he said, hey, can you come by the store? And I said, playing a game, what's up? I didn't live far from the store. He was like, no, I really need you to come by the store. So I went by the store and he took me in the back, and Steve, the district manager, was on the phone trying to fire me. And so I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So evidently when the guy had asked me to go to the back and check something, he had reached around the counter and taken a handful of used PS2 games because we would keep them just in the little slips right behind the counter, so that it was easy to get when somebody brought you up a game case. And like I said, I was working by myself at the time. And he said, well, do you know this guy? I said, yes, the dude I talked to you about. He's the guy who always comes in, this is what he looks like. And he said, he reached around and grabbed a bunch of games from you, and then you gave him cash for them. I said, what? And so he showed me the games that he had traded in, and sure enough, they were alphabetical from A to D. All of those games were A to D, but they were mixed up a little bit. So he was like, didn't you notice this? And I was like, no, I mean, it's busy. You were accepting in trade-ins. And so Steve wanted to fire me. My manager at the time got it to where I would just lose my keys. I'd become a part-timer at 20 hours a week, and I wouldn't become assistant manager. And that was it for me. I had had enough of the corporate bullshit of GameStop, and I just handed him my keys. And I said, Alec, his name was Alec. I said, Alec, it's been fun, buddy. You know, we're still friends for sure, but I'm out. I'm sorry if this puts you in a bind, but you know, I'm done. I'm not going to be treated like this. And that was it. That was my last day at GameStop. So overall, GameStop it's a company, it's a business, and businesses run on business practices. You know, sales, percentages. It's not necessarily about the people, it's about the bottom line. You are very expendable at GameStop. You are not special at GameStop as an employee. You know, they feel that they can replace anyone at any time. You're not really allowed to express personality. You weren't allowed to be yourself. I wanted to set up things like picks of my own games, recommendations and stuff. They never let you do stuff like that at that time. This may have changed now, but it sucked. Honestly, it actually soured me on video games for quite a while. I had stopped kind of collecting, and it was just a draining experience. Like, it was something I couldn't necessarily believe, that a company would do this to its own employees and have all these hidden agendas and want you to push all these products just for bottom dollar, you know, to make money and stuff. But I mean, it's the nature of the beast, man. So that's pretty much it. That's my story at GameStop. Like I said, this is from 9-10 years ago.
Oh damn! I like, for people to fire you because of that alone. For people to fire you because a person stole something, and you and they accuse you of just giving them money for those games. Like, do you not see how terrible that makes your that do you know how terrible it makes GameStop look? Like it probably this was the time where everything was so stingy, but to be honest with you, like, that's so scummy. That's so shady of that district manager, because you know, there was no evidence to back this up whatsoever. There was nothing to back it up whatsoever. And you know, with that, it's just like it's not that. One of the things that really gripes me, this is why most people don't even like GameStop. Even people who uh who work there don't even like it, because of how scummy and how bad their reputation seems to be, and that's why their stocks are terrible. And let me show you some of the stocks here for GameStop. You will kind of see how down they are. Like, this is how much they're losing in revenue right now, from one day to about 5 days. So you can see that they're not going in a good direction. They're minus 0.09, negative 0.62% in the past 5 days, and in one day they managed to do negative 21% today of stock. Like, does that now ring a bell? Like, it does that now ring a bell to some people? Yeah, because digital games have taken over the market. Like, to be honest here, like GameStop should have closed its doors a long time ago. If I don't know, I don't know, if people were good enough to if people were like not that scared, or the employees were not that scared to put GameStop into turmoil, you know, they wouldn't be doing this, considering that all of the things that they've been doing all the scummy things that they've been doing is absolutely terrible. And, this could even be something that, that goes really, really bad, which I'm not going to get into, but like I said, it's really bad on GameStop's part, and they could potentially lose even more money than they are. And GameStop has not been in a good hold, unfortunately. Okay. Next thing is the daycare disaster. This is one video that is a really big highlight, I would say. And it's from none other than Fantavision. So here we go. Go. Crap.
Hello everyone, Fancy here. You're watching Fantavision, and today is another Tales from...
Get online in minutes.
What the heck was going on? That was weird. So weird, man. Yeah, that's super weird. What the heck was that?
Web.com's AI builder makes...
Anyway, let's take this. I'm not gonna show the ad here. I'm gonna go ahead and play from the beginning. So here we go. We're not gonna watch too much of this because it's like a 22-minute video.
Hello everyone, Fancy here. You're watching Fantavision, and today is another Tales from Retail about GameStop. Now, I know some people are getting sick of it. I know I've addressed this in the past, that it's been Walmart, GameStop for so long. And I'm thinking that next week, I'm going to, well, at least this week, I'm going to pour over all the different viewer suggestions, or viewer stories rather, and pick a viewer story to do next week. Because I have gotten permission from every single person that has sent in their story. If you have a story that you would like to be turned into a video and you're going to give me permission to use that story, to talk about, discuss, probably with Eric, then definitely send it to me on Twitter, Instagram, probably just Twitter. Twitter is the easiest place, but if you don't have Twitter and you only have Instagram or something like that, or Steam or something, I don't know. I've got all my information down below. Follow me at one of those things and let's talk, because your story could be the next featured story. Also, today's beer is from the Santa Fe Brewing Company. Very simple design on the can. I admire that. That's fine. It's the Nut Brown Ale. I know a lot of people were complaining about IPAs constantly, and now I've been trying some new stuff because it's still the summer, but I feel like we're getting closer and closer, or amber. We were used as a babysitting service. I think it's kind of self-explanatory. And today we're talking about GameStop used as a babysitting service. Now, what do I mean by that? What do I mean that we were used as a babysitting service? I think it's kind of self-explanatory in just saying that it's a babysitting service, because people, depending on what location I worked at, if there was a Walmart right next door, which was my main location where I worked, they would drop off their kids and go shopping. And we have to take care of their kids. Now, most of the time, it really wasn't that big of a deal because we had game demos set up, as you can see over here, where they would just play the Xbox, Wii U, or whatever. But sometimes you get those kids that are just the worst. And what do I mean by the worst? I mean, they basically did all of the things that were our pet peeves at GameStop. They would open cases on the wall to look inside at the manual, realize there's no disc in there, and then put the case back up on the shelf, but they wouldn't snap it shut, so it'd flop back open. Or they'd be reaching for a game that's too high up, and I'm like on my way to help them get the game, and they knock over the whole shelf of spined games. So I have to go over there and I have to start picking up games and putting games back. And of course, these kids are never going to buy anything. Occasionally, they'd pick out a game and tell their parents, hey, I want this game. But most of the time, the parents wouldn't come back and go, oh, did you find what you wanted? No, they're like, okay, time to go. Because that's all they were using us for. They weren't using us to get, a new game. They weren't trying to help their kid have enough time to decide. They just didn't want to be parents for an hour or half hour, however long it took them to shop, and dumped it on us. So it didn't help our numbers. They made us clean up the store more because of this bullshit, and they were usually ungrateful about it. Seriously, I mean, most of the parents that did this kind of thing were very rude. And you're thinking, well, how do you know that they're rude? They're not rude just because they made us babysit their kids for them for free.
Utrax Interactive.
Okay. The amount of ads is just deplorable, man. Okay. Put the sound back on.
Timeline.
They're also rude because they would come back because they regularly shopped in that area. They'd come to Gamestop sometimes, and they were just kind of general dicks. But I guess you kind of have to be if you're not willing to put up with your kid just for shopping, and you're going to pawn your kids off to some minimum wage workers for free. They don't thank you 90% of the time. The worst offenders were the people that brought in their kids and then left them in there right next to when we're about to close. Because we can't kick these kids into the street. First of all, we can't even close the store when anybody's in the store. We can't tell people to leave. We just have to remind them, hey, just letting you know, we're about to close in about 10 minutes. And usually people got the hint. But you can't say that to a kid whose parent is at Walmart taking an hour to pick up their hard alcohol and their 40s because they don't want to take care of their kids. I don't get it. I don't get the logic. I mean, I'm not a parent, but I feel like if I were a parent, I wouldn't just drop my kid. Because a lot of the time, you might be thinking, well, if they're like, almost, teenagers, younger teenagers, that's fine, whatever. But these kids were like so young sometimes. I'm talking like 6, 7, sometimes even younger. And they're not with an older sibling or with their parents.
Okay.
And what are we going to say? Hey, you can't just drop your kid off here because you really don't know sometimes. Like, they'll be over there looking at Wii games on one side of the store. Parent walks out, kid's still here. What are we supposed to do? And sometimes the kids would get scared. They'd be like, where's my parent? I'm lost. And I'm like, did your parents not tell you that they were going to go to Walmart? That they were abandoning you? I don't get it. I would be freaked out. I would never just let my kid hang out in some random game store next to Walmart. You don't know if somebody's going to kidnap your kid. You don't know if the workers there are creepy. You just don't know. So these parents were too lazy to care, I guess, about the well-being of their children. I mean, if you do this and you're like friends with the workers at GameStop, like you know them and you know they're okay with it, that's fine. But most of the time, we don't have time to take care of your kid. We can't watch your kid the entire time, especially if it gets busy. What happens if it gets really busy, huge crowd comes in, crowd leaves, and your children are gone? What are we going to do? We don't know if you came and picked them up. We're not going to call the police. Unless we saw that your kid is getting kidnapped and screaming for help, what are we going to do? If somebody comes in pretending to be another family member and takes them home, and then the parents come back and go, "Where's my kid?" That's not our fault. So I'm just saying there's so many risks involved in treating GameStop like a babysitter. It just does not make sense to me. Now, like I said, there were different types of kids. There were the kids that played the demos that were fine. There were some kids that played the demos that were not fine, because I don't know about you guys, but at first, whenever I see the game demos way back when, before I knew what I know now, I'm like, oh sweet, I'm going to try out some game demos, I'm going to try out some new games. This will be fun, it's free. Cool, I'm here, I might as well. Now, after watching the little kids that play these games and touch the controllers, I will never play a game demo at a store again, just because you see them, they're like picking their nose, they're wiping it all over the controller, they got their fingers in their mouths, they're eating Cheetos. I mean, we'd go over there and try to clean them to the best of our ability, but I mean, there's cracks in the controllers and where the buttons are, there's holes, and there's so many different grooves where this crap would get stuck and make these demo units just disgusting. Now, of course, like I said, we try to clean them all the time, but you can only do so much. And it was just nasty seeing what happened to those poor controllers. Another thing was that if they're like a rowdy kid, what are you going to do? Tell them to stop? I mean, you're not their parent. You can only do so much. So we had some kid, he was like flinging around the Wiimote near the Wii U thing, and we're like, you gotta calm down. You can't swing it around like that. You're gonna hurt yourself, you're gonna hit something, you might break something. Sure enough, what does he do? He hits the TV.
Why?
What's up?
Hi, Jira. We brought you here.
Why does this always happen?
Now, it didn't damage anything, but he could have broken the entire unit and the controller and the screen and just everything, because he's just a stupid little kid that doesn't listen to anyone. So that was a rarity, though. It's not like we had people come in and trash in the store all the time, but we did have kids that would constantly pick up a game from one console, walk around the store with it, and then just drop it off at some random shelf. It's so frustrating. Because at home they must have a certain area where you put back everything. And I mean, I'm sure the little kids, it makes sense. They don't get it. There's different consoles. All these things stay in their area. But man, what was even worse was when a kid not only would pick up the game and put it in the wrong area, but they just pick it up, look at the game, and then drop it on the floor and walk away.
Oh.
I had kids that would go through the spines on the bottom of the shelf, sit down, go through all the games, which is fine, but those are alphabetized. So they de-alphabetize all of them and then leave them in miscellaneous piles on the floor. Now, sometimes the parents were responsible and go, you've got to clean this up. You need to keep this place in order, which was great. I respected those parents. That was great. That was fine. It wasn't in alphabetical order anymore. I'm not going to expect the kid to do that. Is it frustrating that they de-alphabetized it and have to go over there and fix all of it? Yes, but at least the parent made them put it back. But a lot of the times, the parents would always seem so rushed. It's like, you just got out of Walmart. What are you rushed to do? Why are you in such a hurry? You bought ice cream. That's not my problem that your kid fucked up our store. You need to take responsibility for what your kid has done. But no, just quickly, come on, let's go. We gotta go. And I'm looking at the ground like, what? No, your kid is cleaning this place. But of course you can't say anything. Just have a good day. Have a good day. Hope you come back. No, I don't want you to come back because you're just fucking up our store and you're not buying anything.
Oh wow, that's a funny thing. Jeez, man. Like, come on now. That, that, like, do you not have the common decency to do that? Like, seriously, do you not have common sense to not not drop off your kid at a GameStop? And yes, I get it. It's a game store. Don't get me wrong. Game stores are fun. But why would you want to why would you want to drop off your kid at a GameStop? And like you said, it's a safety issue, it's a health issue, and just all around, why are you doing it? Like all around, why are these parents doing it? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, yes, I get it for like I get it, but you know, but the responsible parents, I'll give them the respect they deserve. Like if they drop something, like they tell their kid to pick it up, sure. But come on now, like the parents who are like so rushed, like the guy said before, like like come on now, like you can't just really quick pick stuff up from the floor that your kid might have, well, I don't know, toppled over on the shelf. Like, come on now, like is that not common sense to all you parents, to all those parents out there that feel the need to, rush out of the GameStop and put these poor employees in a place where, you know, where they should where they are supposed to put up with their kids' crap. Like does that not make any sense to these parents out there? It's not that hard to just go in really quick and just pick up all the games that your kid might have de-alphabetized or might have might have dropped on the floor, you know? Is that not common sense? And that's something, that's typically common sense. But anyway, I'm probably not gonna watch this whole entire thing because I, I just don't have time for like 22 minutes of video. So anyway, next video we're gonna go ahead and watch is Diary of a Walmart Employee. Karen rules. Oh God, Karen rules. Another Karen bullcrap statement. So here we go. All right. Here we go. Okay. Did I not? Okay, I didn't put in the entire link. That is not okay. There we go.
Their AI, Intercom's AI, the leader in AI for customer service. Learn more at intercom.com.
Okay, there's something wrong with this, and I don't understand why. Okay, there we go. No, it's freaking market.
Welcome to Walmart, the only place where you can see a fight, a concert, and a Karen while getting a TV for 15% off. And before making videos, I was a Walmart cashier for a year and a half. From November 2019 to April 2021, I was wearing that blue vest. And if you do the math, I was working there during the start of the COVID pandemic, during the panic buying. And that experience was when I went from a boy to a man. I remember March 13th, 2020 like it was yesterday. That was the day my school decided to shut down and never reopen. And I was a senior, so that was technically my last day of high school. No prom, no graduation, but that's a story for another time. However, since I had no more in-person school, I decided to get more hours at Walmart and work there for more time. And only if I knew what I signed up for. Cause a week later, there was a national emergency and I was in the midst of all the panic buying. People were buying all the toilet paper, Lysol, hand sanitizer, and when you'd see those shelves at night, and do you remember the first few days of COVID and how everybody was super paranoid? Like, they wouldn't even let me touch their stuff to ring out. This one person literally sprayed Lysol all over the conveyor belt, and then their food, and then on me. Yeah. And the stuff inside these people's carts were absolutely insane. Like, you know, you'd have normal things like water bottles, toilet paper, but then it got a little extreme, like flashlights and survival kits. And then this one dude had a machete. I can't make this up. Where did you get that? Oh, they had it in the back. And some people's IQs go absolutely out of that door. Hey, excuse me, so y'all were out of toilet paper, so I went into the bathroom and took one of the rolls. Is it cool if I can buy it? I don't get paid enough for this, man. Just take it, bro. Oh, for real? Thanks, bro. Yep, it came to the point where we had to keep customers in check on what to buy. Introducing limit buying. The only way to make sure people don't buy 20 cases of water and sell them for 10 times the price in the black market. You see these signs? It says 1 per customer, not 4, not 5. And if we see you disobeying us, Walmart workers will be in charge of taking the excess out of your carts. No, literally, my manager told me to take all the hand sanitizer bottles out of your basket and not say a thing. And if you think people will get mad, man, you're absolutely right. Especially Karens. I need to see your manager. Well, here he is. Either you take one or none. But that's totally unfair. Do you want my business or not? Karen alert. Ma'am, I need you to leave. You don't even have your mask on right. My favorite Karens were the low-key ones. You know, the ones who try not to act like Karens, but they say the same exact things as Karens or worse. I'm gonna need someone of higher authority. So, a manager? Yes, but I don't like saying that word because I don't want to sound like a Karen. Ma'am, what's your name? Karen. And inside that store, it would get somewhat brutal and I wouldn't want to be in there anymore. So I would volunteer and go outside to push carts. If you saw my last Walmart story time, you probably know about my Walmart cart pushing friend, Ryan. He was hilarious, and when he wouldn't ask about my non-existent love life, he would talk about some drama about our fellow Walmart workers. Bro, Mariah and Brian went out last night together. Dude, get out of here, what? I would love to go out car pushing, mainly for the cheeseman. And speaking of Ryan, he was my closest coworker, but he moved across the country 2 years ago, and I haven't seen him since. Until last week. And boy, we have some stories to share. Alright, so I'm currently in Vegas, and look who I'm with. The one where we push cars together. You have a story?
So we were like Thing?
We were at Thing. We were at Walmart.
Electric cars?
So you know the electric cars, the handicap ones? They would leave them out on the street as well, right? And that was the best part, I think, of the day, that we would have to that we can drive them back into the store. There were 2 carts right next to each other.
We do a race. Yeah. Whoever won, they're gonna buy us something. But the thing is, let's get lost and didn't buy me this.
Of me like running towards him when we were at Walmart.
Yeah,
and then the new one. And then you got the new one.
I'm so happy to see him. We're gonna hang out more soon now.
Yeah. Car pusher. Yes, sir. Shout out to the homie Ryan. Cling. If you want to see more about my Vegas trip, follow the Instagram.
Wow.
Hey, I'm Jordan.
Okay. Honestly, it's always gonna be like this for quite a while, but anyway. We're almost at like 15 minutes to do this, so so we checked out a couple of videos now. So we are gonna go ahead and watch another one of these things. So okay. I'm not gonna pick a long one, but we're gonna do I don't know how long this one is gonna be. The worst part of working at Walmart. Or actually, we're gonna do another actually let's just do this one here. And let's do the fifth one. One last one before we get out of here.
How big?
We're gonna do the fourth one to kind of end off this thing here, and we're gonna go ahead and do this here. I did watch a little bit of this, like maybe like a few
And I'm by myself. No.
like a few weeks back, so let's watch this. It's just why? Okay, there's a lot of ads on here. I don't like that.
Whoa. Fanta, the king of
Let's just get to the actual story here.
running out of stories, or realizing that I'm getting close to running out of stories, because I don't want to stop doing these, because I really do enjoy them. So, like I said, if you guys have any, we'll discuss what it was like in your past and what you would like me to say, what you'd like me, me not to say. Today I'm drinking, because that's a lot of alcohol to me. I know most people are like, oh, 9%, that's like, it's like 2 Bud Lights or something. I don't know what that would be, but yeah, we'll see how that happens. Of Walmart, because as deep as I can into this, and hopefully this unlocks some of those past memories of Walmart, because working at Walmart was unquestionably the worst part of my life. Like, I've had a lot of horrible things happen to me. I have been in terrible relationships, but Walmart was the lowest point in my life by far. I mean, Walmart, it drains your soul. Every single thing about the store. I can't stress that enough. And I don't know if I've completely, talked about the store itself and why it does this, but let me spell it out for you. I think I've said this in previous videos, but I did not want to go to work so badly, because I was so miserable, that I wanted to get into a car accident so I didn't have to work. Now, I didn't want to, die on the way there. I just wanted to get, smashed up enough that I didn't have to clock in that day. Even if it meant one day of not working at Walmart, it was worth it to me. That's how awful that place was. And it's not because I was getting paid horribly. It's not just because the customers were awful. It's not just because the managers were incompetent and worthless. It's just all of it combined with the atmosphere of Walmart. It just drains you. So let's talk about why Walmart drains you. First of all, let's start with something as simple as the lighting. Now, the lighting, I don't know who designed this, but they're idiots. And even people that shop at Walmart complain about this. Now, I don't know if your guys' Walmart does this, but ours, it has like solar panels outside, and it also has like cutouts in the roof where the sun can shine in. So during the day, the lights are turned down pretty low because the sun is lighting up most of the store. But throughout the day, like when it gets a little bit later, the whole store will like get dimmer and then brighter and then dimmer and then brighter. And it's like they're trying to torture you in any way possible. And it drives you insane because it doesn't just happen a little bit, it happens for hours at a time. So this constant light torture, I don't know why they would do it, because when you turn a light off, it actually consumes more power. If you turn a light on and off, you're consuming more power than just leaving it on for a bit. I'm probably going to be disproved in the comments, but that's what I've heard. And if you're constantly lowering it to almost completely off and then all the way up over and over and over, I think all the power that you're trying to save by having those little cutouts in the ceiling, you're kind of negating that, especially with the solar panels and everything. You're negating everything. All of the savings you're trying to make here are negated. And even if that isn't true, even if they're saving a couple of pennies or a couple of dollars, even $100 a day, this is Walmart we're talking about here. I mean, they make billions and billions of dollars in profit. You can't just put a little bit of that money aside to not drive your customers and employees especially crazy. Oh my God, that was awful. Can you imagine if I did that to you guys? Just kept changing the lighting throughout the entire episode? It'd be awful, right? And this is just, you're watching a video. But if you have to work in that for 8 hours, it drives you insane. Another thing is the store itself, the aesthetics of the store. There's no carpet anywhere. There's just this hard cement brown flooring with a couple of little foot pads near cash registers and stuff, just so you're not breaking your feet all day. Those pads don't really help that much. I mean, they help a little bit, but you're constantly walking around on the pavement. You can't do anything about that. I mean, at least GameStop had that like micro thin carpet, which also helped to noise dampen things, whereas there's no noise dampening at all in Walmart. You can hear somebody all the way across the store yelling about something because there's no soundproofing in the store. And it's just that brown, awful cement everywhere. For a while, it was like gray, if I remember correctly. I remember I think they painted it. I don't know. It was just awful. Concrete floors.
Honestly, it is really depressing. It really is. It really is kind of depressing here. I'm gonna have a job soon. And I bet one of my future bosses is gonna be a... Oh, yeah. I get what you mean. I get what you freaking mean. Yeah, you're gonna be dealing with that quite a bit in retail. Such a sad day, man. It's gonna be one of those sad days. If you're gonna go into retail, good luck, cause the stories here that I was just showing are kind of miserable, and they're true. They're freaking true from mostly these employees. Don't get me wrong. Every job is gonna be kind of miserable, but retail has got to be one of the worst probably jobs that you can get. And people talk about people talk about the customers, which don't even get me started on the customers, because I wouldn't want to deal with that crap. I wouldn't. And to be honest with you, who wants to put up with that? Who really wants to? And people can say whatever they want, but you have to deal with crappy customers, and even worse from the managers, and even the district managers if you're gonna work in GameStop, and basically be treated as like a babysitting service as well if you're in GameStop, by the way, and or put up with the stressful crap that comes with cleaning the stores, keeping them in really great shape. But that is it for the stories anyway. And I was not gonna show. I was gonna show every single video, but not go through go through the whole thing because we would be here for like 3 hours if I were to go through it this way. But to end on a good note, to end on a high note, we're gonna do one video more, and it's gonna be a funny video. And this is from a guy named Joe Ruth or whatever it's called. Or actually, we're just gonna do the fifth one here. The worst part of working at Walmart story time. We're gonna watch this next one. I saved this for last because why not? And I didn't want to watch the video until now, so here we go. Okay. Listen to the dribble here, and anyway, we're starting the actual story here.
Hello once again everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be telling you guys more stuff about Walmart, which you guys have definitely requested. I've definitely seen y'all's comments. I've noticed that y'all are just watching the heck out of these Walmart videos. So I was just like, okay, let me think about like minor inconveniences. I'm talking about all Walmart, like just the worst. I'm not talking about like minor inconveniences. I'm talking about all of the things that made this job like so horrible for me. So right off the bat, I want to say the work is not at all what makes Walmart awful. Not even close. It's just literally the easiest part. Walmart cashier, being a Walmart cashier is probably the easiest job that I've ever done, and definitely it's not strenuous, it's not anything crazy. It's fine. It's fine. And for $10 an hour, I was okay doing it for about 6 months. I couldn't do it any longer than that. But like, it's just not bad just doing the work. The things that make it awful are just they go across the board. It's a lot. So first of all, rude customers is a given. Everybody who's ever worked in retail has experienced rude customers, rude people who are just like crazy. Like, I don't understand, but I'm not really going to talk about that because everybody already knows, and that's like retail. That's not just Walmart. So the actual things that were awful. First of all, this is the worst part for me because I can't deal with really, really hot temperatures. Like, I just can't do it, and I live in like one of the hottest states ever. I live in Louisiana, and it's very hot all the time, except for probably like 1 month out of the year, then it's fine. But I worked at Walmart from March until September, and during that span of time, it was extremely hot. And you would think that corporate would be understanding of that because they control the thermostat. Corporate controls the thermostat. Why? I don't know. That's just stupid. Like, how are you going to control okay, whatever. So in the middle of the hot summer, in the southern United States. They had the air set on like 75. 75. Okay, so like literally every single day, all day long, I would be sweating, just sweating profusely. And I mean, you could see it all down my back. You could see it on like my legs, like on the side of my legs. Terrible. So obviously, I was not having a very good time. That was one of the worst parts to me because I just can't deal with hot weather. Like, I just can't do it. I will be cold all day long and I'll be fine. But if I'm sweating, I am not happy. Another thing that I hated was very obvious favoritism. There were certain managers who would favor certain people, so certain people would get away with anything and other people would get away with nothing, not even things we were allowed to do. So that was just dumb, like so stupid, because the assistant managers would not come out into the floor and like check on everybody and see what's going on. And so the CSMs would have full reign over everybody, and even the assistant managers had favorites. So it's like certain people would get to play on their phones while there were customers around, and other people would not be able to even look at the time when there were no customers in the store. So that's like the wide span right there. And then if you guys have seen my other my Walmart manager video, you know that one of the assistant managers would not let me bring in like one of those quench bottles to keep my water cold, but she would let like all the other girls have the big things like the insulated cups and have like stuff that you're not even allowed to bring, like Cokes and tea and whatever else, energy drinks. Like it didn't matter. But if it was me, I couldn't bring it. Like I couldn't, because she didn't like me for no reason at all. Another thing that I really, really hated that made this whole thing miserable for me is the fact that my store, I don't know if this is all stores, but my store refuses to take doctor's excuses. They refuse. Like, I was almost fired because I had the flu for like a week. Because I mean, I had doctor's excuses for the whole time. They were like, okay, you can't work from this time to this time. And it was like, okay. And so I took it to my store manager, the store manager. And he was like, yeah, I don't really like to take doctor's notes. So you're going to get a point for every day you missed. And so that was ridiculous. And I fought that pretty hard because they were going to fire me because I had the flu for a week. Like, I was literally vomiting and just feeling awful for a week. What the heck? And I talked about it with the other girls who were out there at the registers. I was like, can you believe this? Have you had this experience? Because you need to go check your points, because if you brought a doctor's excuse at any point, they're going to give you a point for that. And if you have like a certain amount of points, you get fired. And so they were freaking out. And then one of the older ladies that I worked with, she was like, yeah, they won't take a doctor's excuse. She said that when she was at another store, a woman had a heart attack while she was at work, and they told her that if she got in the ambulance and went to the hospital, she would be fired because she would have too many points, because she was going to miss the day of work. They were going to give a woman a point for having a heart attack and having to go to the hospital. Are you effing kidding me? That is ridiculous. I don't care who you are. Walmart is trash because they don't take doctor's excuses, and they'll give you a point and try to fire you if you have a heart attack on the premises. Cool. Another thing that I hated about my particular Walmart is that they would not tell you when they were going to have meetings. They would just, write it on an arbitrary piece of paper, and if you didn't see that piece of paper, you're just going to miss the mandatory meeting, and so sorry. Like, how does that make sense? Shouldn't it be on the main bulletin board when you clock in? And shouldn't managers periodically remind people? Because people are on different shifts. So if one person doesn't come in this day and you put up the thing for the meeting, but it's a mandatory meeting, how is that person going to see it and be able to attend the meeting? Are you stupid? Like, you have to be dumb. I think this video probably just comes down to the manager of my particular store and the assistant managers, because if this store was under different and better management, this kind of thing would not have happened. Like, I never went to a meeting because I never saw the piece of paper. Nobody ever reminded me or told me, period. And then afterward, they would try to take disciplinary measures because I didn't attend the meeting that I did not know about. Those are just some of the things that I hated about working at Walmart. Leave me in the comments down below if you've ever worked at Walmart and what were your least favorite parts. Let me know. Leave me a like if you like this video, comment down below like I said, and subscribe because I make new videos every Monday and Friday, and sometimes they're Walmart related. Thank you guys so much for joining me again today, and I'll see you guys next time.
Anyway, oh God. For medical reasons, well, yeah, man. Like all these videos on Walmart are honestly really just it really makes you wonder like why like like these companies shouldn't even be doing this sort of thing. Like, is it not that 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 obvious? Isn't it that obvious to Walmart that 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 having somebody sick or somebody having a medical emergency like a heart attack means that you should go home? Like, it means that you should go home and you should not be anywhere near Walmart. Like, does that not make any sense? Like, in the company's eyes, probably not. And I get it, they're a business, but at some point, you know, Walmart and uh all these other retail corporations need to take into account like they need to take into account that the employee's health is much more important than than Walmart, GameStops, or any other retail store's bottom line. Since if employees are not gonna be if employees are not gonna be going home because of a medical emergency, or because they had flu, or because they had a runny nose or something like that, is totally so shady and very scummy. Because in in my honest opinion, if because I'm not a doctor or anything, um but that is borderline wrong, and that is just completely against society. That's basically against morals. Like that should not happen at all. Like Walmart's crazy for doing it. It's not that difficult to do that sort of thing, and it like hearing all these stories is just it makes it so scummy. It makes it so infuriating that that these employees don't get enough credit for doing their job, that they're supposed to be doing, and not getting any benefits on for one, and two, for having to deal with crappy customers, which are the Karens and typical, and probably some people that just have a bad day because they want to take it out on the employees, on the poor employees that are there to assist people. And it's just we need to give these workers, former workers or not, you know, these types of people need to have these types of people need to, they deserve respect. They really do deserve respect. And for the people that for the millions of people out there that treat these employees like trash, like they're lower than everybody else. Like to those people I say, you know, learn to respect people like that. Like that should be the bottom line. Like you should not be you should not be this stingy with people because you're having a bad day, or somebody pissed you off, or you just or something happened to where to where it was a confrontation or something like that. You shouldn't take it out on the poor employees. You shouldn't take it out on the poor employees. It's just common sense. Like most people, like most people, they just don't care. Like it's sad, really. And the worst part is that GameStop and Walmart employees, and basically every employee that's worked retail, are getting flack for it because they are doing their job, and especially from higher management, and that's just out of the line. It's really out of the line. And yeah, that's basically all I have to say about that. Anyway, on to a good note. Ending on a high note here before we get out of this stream. We're gonna check out Chill Dad When You Stand Up to a Bully, which this is one video that I really enjoy. So get ready for a laugh. Honestly, I liked how the other live stream turned out, and why not do it again here? So anyway, without further ado, let me show you.
Check out these deals of the week at Walgreens.
Okay, I'm not gonna show that at all. I don't understand why that needs to be shown at all, to be honest with you. Okay, we're gonna start the video now.
Long day at work.
Okay, let's start this.
What a long day at work. Mark is such a moron. Hey, Karen, what are we having for dinner? What? What about Nick? He won't leave his room? Oh my goodness. Hey, Nick, what are you crying about? Isn't that Josh kid again? All right, Nick, go ahead and sit down. Sit down for me. All right, no, Karen, we've been going your route this whole time, and nothing's been happening. Get out of here. Nick, this world is a very cold place. And sometimes, you just have to take the bull by the horns, okay? What I'm really trying to say here is, I want you to kick this kid's ass. Now come outside. I want to show you something. Nick, you listening? Get off the phone, all right? Listen to me, all right? This is the situation, okay? Let's just say, you're walking in the hallway, and then, you see this fat. You see this kid, all right? And then he goes something like this. Hey, give me your lunch money, punk. This is what you're gonna do, okay? This is you. Oh, yeah, let me grab it for you. Then you drop him on his ass. All right, see you later, buddy. Hey, wait, Nick, come here. Listen to me, okay? Do what needs to be done today, all right? Okay, hotshot. All right, have a good day, girl. Okay, class. Oh, my goodness. Nick, what have you done to Josh? Thank goodness. He's been bullying me this whole school year. Nick, you go to the principal's office right now. Right now. How to stop erectile dysfunction? Nick, go ahead and take a seat, please. Nick, as I sit here and sip my black coffee, I think to myself, Nick, you are the man. I should be mad at you, but clearly I'm not. Hell, I don't even think I could stand up to that kid. Unless Mrs. Johnson was around, of course. But Nick, as the principal of this piece of shit school, I have to do my job, unfortunately. So I have to call your parents, I have to give you a full week out of school suspension, yada, 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 you know the details. So what's the best phone number I can use to contact your parents? Let's try that one more time and act like you're not starstruck. What's the best phone number I can use to contact your parents? This new TED TV show is hilarious. Oh, no. This better not be Mark again. Hello? What do you want, Mark? Oh, no, Mr. Peters. This is Principal Myers. I'm calling on behalf of your son. Oh, great. Did he get his ass kicked again? No. Actually, it was the other way around. He dropped that hippopotamus on his ass so fast, I think the whole school should. Are you kidding me? Oh, no. I can't say I am. I think we should call up Dana White in the UFC. I think we have the next biggest star here. Yes! I'm so proud of you, buddy. You just
so proud, man.
All right, Mr. Peters. See you soon. Mrs. Johnson, baby, please just one chance. Come on. What do you say? Hey, Bill, your wife's a skank. This has got to be the best day of my life. Get your ass in the car! How we feeling, champ? Yeah, let me get 2 Big Macs, 2 large fries, 2 large chocolate shakes, and, yeah, Nick, you got him! You really got him! What, Karen? What do you mean that our son's sticking up for himself? You know what? Get out of here! Get your ass out of
Oh, come on. Seriously, you can't stand him to a freaking bully? Like, come on now. Like, we're all just soft, but I get it. At one point, we're gonna like at one point, SWAT talking it out helps a little, but not by much.
Hey, John, meet me at the bar tonight. Drinks on me tonight, baby. No better way to celebrate.
Hey, that's amazing. It's a real amazing, dude. It's really freaking amazing. Anyway, Oh man, that was a good short video, I'll be honest. I think I'm gonna you should check this guy out, cause literally what was his name again? Oh, sorry guys. Jeez, my eyes. Kids are kind of really irritated right now. Anyway, okay, so we are probably gonna end this off. But, um, yeah, Walmart. Yeah, all those stories were kind of interesting. I'll be honest. The first video, I thought it was gonna be good, but um, he's a he's an okay content creator. But like I said, you know, when he did like the Nintendo enthusiast videos, so that's what I remember from. Yeah, he did have a certain style video that that, that wasn't really that was different from other people. But he's a good guy. To be honest with you, I would hang out with him. But honestly, GameStop and Walmart though, but GameStop and Walmart are some of the worst places to work. You know, I I I've seen rants. I've seen story times of these two places. It's absolutely horrific of what these employees have to go through, and it makes me obviously very very sad. And you know thing about it is these employees are are there at the store every day. The former employees not much anymore, but still they have went through the job once, and they don't want to go through it again. And respect to all those people that work in retail. Like that's a job nobody wants. It's probably a job that nobody wants to do, except for people that just don't know what they're doing. But to be honest with you, retail is such a horrible place to work. And I'm not somebody who works retail, but for all these stories alone, it was just it seems like a horrible experience. And I don't want people to go through all this. And and for those former employees, I respect you. Of course the people who are working at these retail stores, I do respect you as well. you know it's a hard market out there, but at the end of the day, lots of these people, lots of people want to try and get these jobs. And to be honest with you, it's hard market. And whether or not you like it, whether you or not you like it, honestly, I just think, move on to a job that, excites you. You could just, like, GameStop and all these big corporations are not gonna give you the freedom that they seem to want to promote to people. They're the best job since sliced bread. No, and especially when you hear these stories, it just becomes a fairy tale. It just becomes a fairy tale, and I, and honestly, it's sad that they even went through the experience that they did. And well, there's nothing I can say. But anyway, um, I'm gonna end off here, and if you guys have not seen things, I currently think I'm gonna be currently filming I currently am filming wait, I think I might have just taken off the crap. I might have taken off the live thing. Hold on. Anyway. So sorry guys for that. Anyway. Oh boy. So we're still live, but I forgot that I did take it off. Anyway, I've been filming quite a bit. So I film here in OBS, you can see, and I have some files here of the videos I filmed for the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass review. So here are most of the things. So the hook, the intro, one of the courses, Choco Mountain. Um, they're all in bad order, but I don't know what I did with the other ones, but uh, New York Minute, Ninja Highway, Mario Circuit 3. I've recorded up to that point. I didn't record. Oh, I didn't record all the courses in one day, but essentially that's what I have so far. And I did record those in my office, but anyway. God, clicking on the wrong things here. Anyway. So as of now, I recorded like half of wave 2 at this point. I recorded all of wave 1, which was like 30, which is like a couple with like all of wave 1, which is like 12 tracks each. Which is like 12 tracks each and 4 cups. So, yeah, and it was pretty long. So I did deviate from the script a little bit. I did, but I wanted to add my own little taste to it. But you understand, I kind of went a little bit too overboard with it. But I tried to make it my own vision as much as possible for the script when I was recording. So, but wave 1, all of this first part, Tokyo Blur, Wii Coconut Mall, N64 Choco Mountain, Toad Circuit from 3DS, Toad Paris Promenade, DS Shroom Ridge, GBA Sky Garden, and Ninja Highway. All of them are recorded. The voice lines are recorded. and half of the voice lines for wave 2 are recorded. So 3 courses in total. I still need to do the other ones. 4, 5, 6, 7. So I had to do a couple more courses up before I'm done with filming. But yeah. Jesus. What was I gonna say? Okay, so I I did show you all the scriptage. I did that and showed you the recording short. Um, so the actual editing, I'm gonna be completely honest here. Editing is not gonna begin until the first week of February, and if I look on the calendar here, I would say maybe around the 2nd or the 3rd. So around next weekend. So next weekend, the 2nd or the 3rd of February, I'm gonna start editing the project, editing the review. And thing is, I am gonna be doing college stuff for quite a while, since I'm still in college at this point. And you know, college has taken a little bit of my time throughout, maybe like a week, I would say, like, because I started on the 18th, and then my Monday class was like on the 22nd, and then now we're on the 25th. So about like 2 weeks into the second class, which is video editing, and then this week alone I got Adobe Illustrator. So I got like one assignment done for that class, which is a project, and then I still gotta do another Valentine's Day project for video editing too. So that is gonna be taking a little bit of my time. So yeah, editing is not gonna start until the 2nd or 3rd, and probably the video will release around the 5th through the 7th of around maybe the 5th, around the 6th, or maybe the 7th of February, around my mom's birthday, around there. So 5th, 6th, or 7th. Don't have a concrete date yet, but that's about like how much you can expect when the editing is gonna be done and through. So about the 2nd week of February is when I'm gonna get done with editing for this project for the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe review for Wave 1 and 2. But that is essentially all I have. And if you have any other questions, go ahead and check out the community post that I posted not too long ago, like around a day ago. About a few hours before after this before the stream took place. So anyway. Yeah, so anyway, that is basically all I have for today's stream. And if you have any questions on all the stuff that I covered in the post, or any videos that you want me to view for next sit down stream, think of any topics if you want. For the sit down streams for Fridays, because this is probably gonna be like a Friday thing, which I sit down here in my office and watch videos, maybe, or do tireless or whatever. Send me like a DM on Twitter, I would say, because people can reach me on Twitter, on all my social platforms, because I got a Twitter, an Instagram, Facebook, and then a Snapchat, of course. So you can reach me on all those platforms. If, if anyone has Twitter, you can message me on Twitter for any topic ideas for Friday streams, because the Friday streams are solely gonna be are gonna solely be the sit down streams in my office. But starting tomorrow, and this is gonna be officially when this is gonna begin. So officially on, let me see here. So officially on tomorrow, January 27th, is when you can expect let me go to my channel here. Let me go to my channel here and let me go to my live. So tomorrow at around 5:30, or actually I'm gonna go to church tomorrow, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it at like 7 o'clock, maybe 7 o'clock tomorrow. So 7 o'clock tomorrow is gonna be the Super Mario Land 6 Golden Coins stream. And this is gonna be such a one. I don't even know how long this stream is gonna be. And I don't even know how long the game is gonna be, but I'm gonna be playing this on my Nintendo Switch, on the Nintendo Switch Online emulator thing, whatever it's called. The stupid black bars that they have on there. But I digress. I played a little bit of the game. It's fun so far. It's a little harder than it looks, and I'm kind of sad that they didn't have Super Mario Land 1. But you guys requested I redo 6 golden coins, but we're gonna be starting with that, and then I think we're gonna move on to Mario Party, or I guess we can move on to Kirby's Dream Land after this, but I have no idea. I still have nothing official yet, but I think we're gonna do Mario Party because it's a lot more easier of a game. But we're not gonna do like 50 turn sessions. We're gonna do maybe around like 35, I would say, because it would take quite long to do. They're gonna be long streams. It's not like 4 or 5 hour streams for Mario Party. But anyway, that's basically all I have to announce. And you know, I'll keep the videos going. Just keep in mind, I won't have videos like uploading frequently because of college. Like I said before, I have college stuff to get done, and I have to focus like primarily on college stuff. But uploads will still be there, just not as frequently. Okay, because that's how it's gonna go. And I think I think as well I'm gonna be probably missing a few days of live streaming if the work starts to pile up. So I'll let you guys know if I'm not gonna stream on that Friday or that Saturday because of stuff going on at college, because well I have a lot of work to do for then for specific classes. I'll let you know, but this week we're gonna still be doing the live streams because I don't have that much work to do aside from the Valentine's Day thing for video editing too. But anyway, thank you guys for coming in and watching these story times with me. And tomorrow we'll be kicking off with Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. So thank you so much for coming by, and and doing everything you can to show your support. So once again, I'm gonna be going off and I'm gonna be doing my own things. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for Super Mario Land 2 6 Golden Coins. Later, guys.